Welcome, my lovely friends, to the wonderful world of Cruise1st TV, where we only talk about wonderful holiday adventures 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there are even more places that you can see us now as well. Let me run through those. In fact, you can watch the channel all day long, every single day, on our website at cruise1st.tv and on our YouTube channel as well. Runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of course, we're here on Sky Channel 681 from early in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week, which is great. And we're also now on Freeview. Every single day on Freeview Channel 89. We're here in the afternoons from 1 till 4. We've taken the whole chunk on the afternoon for you to enjoy on Freeview now. So that's Freeview Channel 89. So please share the news with everyone you know. Now, I'm on my own for this show, and it's because we're talking big trips. In fact, for 2025, we're talking the World Cruise from P&O Cruises with Arcadia, where it's smaller, more intimate cruising. It's adults only for journeys around the world. Next year's full world cruise runs from the 3rd of January right the way through to the 13th of April. That's 99 wonderful nights, or 13 weeks and 2 days cruising around our globe. Now, for the full 99-night cruise, prices start from £10,339 per person, which is amazing value for money, let me tell you. And you can talk to our team right now if you're interested in doing that in 0800 953 4700. Now, in this particular show, I'm going to be breaking down that 99 nights into smaller sectors for you. First of all, though, let's go and see the ship. We're on board P&O's Arcadia, and I'll talk you through the various options that there are. You are going to love it. You are going to love life on board Arcadia. There is so much going on. For a ship that's a smaller ship, it actually packs a real punch in terms of the spaces on board and the things you can do. For instance, it's got a brilliant 2-level main dining room, which is just so spectacular. It's beautiful. And when you look at the main theatre itself, the Palladium, it's awesome, with lots of variety of different seating. You've got wonderful, there it is, the Palladium Theatre. It's incredible. You've got great restaurants on board, lots of places to relax and enjoy as well. And we'll come back and look several times on board the ship as well and give you a bit of a bigger feel for what's happening on board. So it's a slightly different feel on board, because this is a world cruise. So very exciting for the crew on board, because they are going to be journeying around the 4 corners of the world with you as well. So it's going to be a very, very different feel. Lots of wonderful sea days. There are nice chunks of sea days on these itineraries as well. So you've got plenty of time to relax and enjoy the ship. Look forward to the places you're about to see. You've got plenty of time to do the research as well. There's plenty of excursion opportunities on offer from P&O Cruises along the way. So this, you can make some very, very big plans, but you haven't got to do the homework. You haven't got to find out about all of these different places before you go, because there's lots of information as we go. So let's start then with the first 41 nights of this world cruise, starting in January from Southampton, and we're going out to Auckland in New Zealand with a 3-night stay there. We've got 54 nights sailing back from Sydney to Southampton with a 3-night stay in Sydney, and we've also got a 15-night sector from Singapore to Cape Town in South Africa with stays in both, which will be incredible. So let's start off then in Southampton. It's the 3rd of January next year, which is so close you can almost reach out and touch it. And let's join P&O's Arcadia for your 41-night full board cruise. On board, by the way, everything you could possibly wish for, including a laundrette on board, because you're probably thinking, okay, I'm taking part of a world cruise, I'm away for weeks and weeks on end. What happens with, you know, when I need stuff washing and whatever? You can do it yourself. There's a laundrette on board. Fabulous Rising Sun pub. They do quizzes, they do karaoke there. The shopping is brilliant. You can have little chocolate treats, you can have gifts, there's perfumes, there's duty free, there's all sorts for you. The awesome and massive Palladium Theatre puts on great theatre productions. There are a number of different shows, including an interactive game show as well, which is hosted by Mr. This Morning, Ben Shepherd. So you'll get to virtually meet him when you're on board Arcadia as well. So let's go 3 days at sea out of Southampton to Madeira in Funchal. Take an excursion here to a farmer's market maybe, and go and see the wonderful botanical gardens that this island is famous for. Then we cruise the Atlantic for a few days, and we're in the Caribbean in Bridgetown in Barbados. So you can take a 4x4 adventure to explore and round off with a cocktail on the Copacabana Beach Bar, which sounds like my perfect day in paradise. What a wonderful thing to do. A day at sea, and we're in Curacao, which is in the Dutch Antilles. You can go on a turtle snorkel tour here in the wonderful crystalline waters. Again, it's another beautiful paradise in the south of the Caribbean. A day at sea, and we'll have a full transit of the enormous and wonderful feat of engineering that is the Panama Canal, heading through the amazing locks, and you'll have a full transit, which is wonderful. Then you end up a few days at sea later into Mexico, into Cabo San Lucas. You can take a tour of the Baja Peninsula here to Land's End and travel its amazing coastlines on a tour, which would be nice to do. A couple of days at sea, and we're in the States now into San Francisco, an overnight here, so 2 full days, cruising in under the Golden Gate Bridge. You can enjoy Sausalito here and go and see the amazing cliffside homes and the galleries and the boutiques that dot around through this area. Wonderful city to go and explore, and plenty of time to do it as well. 4 days at sea, and we're in Hilo in Hawaii on the Big Island here, so you can head to the Big Volcanoes National Park to see Mount Kilauea and see the extraordinary size of this landscape. Again, fascinating and very different to where we've been so far. Next we head to Honolulu. The Waimea Falls Park is really impressive here. You can watch the locals diving from the cliffs. You can maybe take a helicopter flight over the island's stunning volcanic scenery as well. It's a beautiful part of the world. 6 days at sea, we're in Samoa now, into Apia, and you can take a tour which includes displays of cultural activities, including basket weaving and sarong printing here. Enjoy the lovely Samoan cuisine as well and browse the markets. Next, we're in Tonga, in Nuku'alofa, and now you can take a historical tour here, including Captain Cook's landing site and one of the most ancient stone arch farming calendars in the world. It looks fascinating. Couple of days at sea, and we're in New Zealand, Tauranga. An excellent adventure here is the Skyline Gondola, which takes you up the side of one of the big mountains there to an adventure park, and you can enjoy the views of Rotorua there and the lake itself. Beautiful geothermal landscape. Now we arrive into Auckland, and that's where we leave Arcadia for the rest of her world cruise, and we stay here for a 3-night hotel stay. It's New Zealand's biggest city. You can explore the Viaduct Harbour here, see all the yachts while you enjoy great food. You can visit the National Maritime Museum here. There are harbour ferries here, which are a great way of exploring over to Devonport or over to a place called Birkenhead. They have their own Birkenhead in Auckland, and you've got to go and see it. There's the revolving restaurant at the top of the Sky Tower, which gives you views right the way across the city. It's 328 metres up there, and you can have a wonderful dinner as it slowly revolves round of an evening. So you've got plenty of options there, and I'm sure there'll be local tours that you can arrange too as well. You've got plenty of time with 3 nights there in a hotel before we then fly back to the UK. I love discovering new cities, and this is a great opportunity, having been part of this incredible world cruise. So here's your itinerary then, of course, starting in Southampton across to Madeira, out to the Caribbean, through the Panama Canal and on to Mexico, of course. And then from Mexico, we would then make our way into the States, into San Francisco, which is a really, really lovely place to be. Then on to the Hawaiian Islands, of course, onto the Big Island in Hilo, onto American Samoa and Tonga, finishing in Tauranga in New Zealand, and then on to Auckland, which is where you leave Arcadia and have 3 nights there in a hotel before you then fly back to the UK. What an incredible, incredible journey. Do you know what? I think you on this one, you'll get to New Zealand and think, I wish we'd have stayed for the rest of the cruise and did the rest of the world as well. It's incredible. So this is 45 nights in all. Starts on the 3rd of January, which is so soon it's ridiculous. Sailing from Southampton out to Auckland in New Zealand over those 41 nights, and then of course staying in Auckland City in a hotel for 3 nights before the flight back. Adults only on the cruise on Arcadia, of course. Gratuities are included, and here's the price for the entire package. And when you see the price for the entire package, it makes you think even more. Actually, I would love to do the rest of the world cruise, but sometimes time doesn't allow. It's amazing. So just under £4,000 per person there. There are upgrades available, of course, on the ship as well. So if you want to go from your inside up to a higher grade of stateroom, you can very, very easily. In fact, we'll have a look at the price tags for that to go up to ocean view and balcony for you. So as an overall package, I think this is incredible because, of course, we're starting on our own doorstep. We're sailing over 41 nights via here, there and everywhere out to New Zealand. Of course, remember, you've got that onboard overnight in San Francisco. So 2 full days there to explore. British cruising, tips included, spending in pounds on board as well, which is always really helpful for budgeting. And of course you have a solo price there as well as your upgrade prices to ocean view or balcony. Any questions on any of these offers, by the way, do talk to the team, because maybe there's something on that adventure where you end in Auckland and stay in the hotel, but maybe from Auckland you are knocking on the doorstep of Australia, of course, if you wanted to have some time over in Sydney or Singapore or wherever you want to. I mean, there's somewhere you might want to cover on the way back to the UK. So talk to the team, because we can custom make a package just for you. And that's the incredible flexibility of something like one of these world cruise adventures, and what we do here at Cruise1st with all the major cruise lines. So back to the world cruise. We've done the first 41 nights of it already in our first offer, and this time we're going to cover the final 54 nights, which will take us from Oz back to the UK. And we're going to join Arcadia this time in Sydney. So we fly out there on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. And when we arrive in Sydney, we are staying there for 3 nights in a hotel. It's a wonderful city, of course. I mean, what's not to love about going to Australia? And having 3 nights there is the perfect introduction to the city. Maybe you want to arrange for yourself or speak to our team about arranging a half-day city tour in Sydney as part of your stay, which will kind of take in some of the highlights that you're seeing right now. Of course, the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House, Bondi Beach, there's Taronga Zoo, there's Mrs Macquarie's Chair. There's so much going on close to the city. You've got the choice of over 100 beaches. You've got Paddington and other fascinating districts within Sydney itself. Circular Quay is really, really fantastic. And there are lots of different ways to get around Sydney. So it's a very navigable city. You're there for 3 nights, and then it's time to pick up the world cruise on P&O's Arcadia. Here she is again. She has a very well-stocked library on board as well. There's daily crosswords and trivia to enjoy. Full programme of entertainment. Theatre venues are amazing. You've got the bigger Palladium Theatre, which we're about to see of an evening. But there's also the Globe at night, which doubles as a nightclub. We've got a big wooden dance floor in there. Several pools, including the Neptune pool with a fully retractable roof with a pool and a jacuzzi all to itself, which is wonderful. You've got plenty of shopping, big brand names on board. P&O branded items are available for you to buy duty free. They even have their own cinema on board. There is the casino, which is fully kitted out for you. And there's also a full wraparound deck, so you can get your steps in during the day as well. Right, are you ready then? 54 nights of cruising. First day at sea out of Sydney, and we're in Brisbane. Now here you can go to the Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, go see the koalas, the kangaroos, the wombats, the emus, and the Tasmanian devils there as well. Very nice indeed. Day at sea from there up to the Airlie Beach Resort, which is wonderful. You can take a catamaran tour here to the Great Barrier Reef. You can snorkel, have a swim, see the underwater observatory. It's a fascinating must-see. Next we head to Cairns, which is the gateway to the Daintree rainforest there. Fascinating walking tours, and you can learn the story of the gold rush here in Cairns, or just wander to a wonderful beach. 3 days at sea, and we're right in the top end of Australia now in Darwin. There's craft beer tours here, lots of croc adventures that you can have, including that Crocosaurus Cove picture at the top. That could be you if you wanted to. Not for me, thanks. A couple of days at sea, and we are in the paradise of Bali into Benoit. Now, there are amazing temples and sites here. It's well worth enjoying. This is just a beautiful paradise for you to enjoy. Maybe head to the Ubud monkey forest as well. Day at sea into Jakarta. This is the capital of Indonesia, a real melting pot of cultures here. Great shopping, and there are a huge array of different markets to explore. I always love in places that are unfamiliar, just wandering around the markets, especially in other countries. Amazing to do. Next, we're into Singapore. Now, we're here for 2 full days, which is wonderful. So you can see Singapore by night as well. Stroll through the Tiger Balm Gardens, see the statues, visit the bird park with its wonderful species and waterfalls, and head to East Coast Park for hiking, and have a good shop on Orchard Road for the big names too. Next, into Port Kelang in Malaysia. This is the port for Kuala Lumpur. Go in and see the King's Palace, the old railway station, the Petronas Towers, which have an amazing viewpoint on that walkway through the middle as well. Wonderful. Next, we head to Penang in Malaysia. The Snake Temple is something which is just amazing, with snakes running, well, slithering through it as well. A sight to behold. Very nice indeed. Next, we have a few days at sea, and we're in Mauritius, Port Louis in Mauritius. Oh my word, the capital of this paradise. And there are so many wonderful experiences to be had here as well. Head to that wonderful Pamplemousses Botanical Garden if you can. Next, we're on Reunion Island in Point de Galette. Take a driving tour here to the mighty ravines and the pitons of this wonderful volcanic location. Very, very nice. Then lots of tours on board as well. 4 days at sea. Next, we're in South Africa in Cape Town. We're an overnight here as well. So 2 days. Take the ferry over to Robben Island, see the penguins and the mammals there. Maybe you're even thinking of an evening or a dawn safari experience. That will be one of the excursions on offer for you, I'm sure, to one of the local game reserves. A day at sea, and we're in Walvis Bay in Namibia. Now you can head down to the enormous Sandwich Harbour wetlands here for an abundance of fascinating bird life, including swarms of those wonderful flamingos that you see in the top picture there. Across the Atlantic, and next we're into Cape Verde, St. Vincent. Really peaceful, very unspoilt, very remote. Just enjoy a stroll here, wander the markets, or just meander and go and have a quiet beer in town. Up to you. 2 days at sea, and you can see we're not far from home now. We're in the Canary Islands. Tenerife is first. Wonderful chance to see the Canary Islands, of course. Always guaranteed year-round sunshine. And lots of different places to explore on Tenerife as well. And next, another one of the Canaries, off to Lanzarote. Get up to Timanfaya, go and see the blowhole there, or maybe head down to the Fuerteventura dunes and the aqua park there, or head to Teguise, which is the ancient capital of Lanzarote itself. A day at sea, and we call into Lisbon in Portugal, one of my favourite cities. It's so beautiful. You can take an e-bike tour here to go and see the city, and you don't really have to pedal much. It's quite hilly. It has an awful lot to offer and to see. You'll be taking pictures left, right and centre, and then you have 2 days at sea, and we will finish in Southampton. So here is your wonderful itinerary. Remember, we flew you over to Sydney, 3 nights there in a hotel, and just look at the wonderful itinerary around Australia to Bali, onto Indonesia and Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, which will be a major highlight on this as well. Then you're off to Mauritius. I mean, some of the most beautiful paradisical places on earth here. Reunion through South Africa and Namibia to Cape Verde, the Canary Islands, Portugal, and then back to our own doorstep here in glorious, I want to say it's sunny Southampton. I don't know how the day will be in Southampton, but we're back home in the UK, having done all the travelling right at the very beginning to get ourselves out to Sydney. So this is 58 nights away. So let's just say a couple of months out of the diary. You are away. Starting though On Valentine's Day, what a perfect day to start your holiday. We're flying off to Sydney in Australia. We're staying there for 3 nights in a hotel, and then you've got that 54-night half-world cruise back to Southampton. Remember, it's adults only on P&O Cruises Arcadia. Gratuities are already included for you as well. Now, for a couple of months on a cruise, just have a look at this price tag. I think you'll be very, very pleasantly surprised. Because look, for less than £5,000 each, that's 2 months, a half-world cruise, flying the other side of the world. In fact, I should be pointing down, shouldn't I? Because we're going down under, where it's already tomorrow in Sydney. 3 nights there in a hotel, and then that massive cruise, all for under £5,000. And of course, the cruise delivers us back to Southampton. So it brings us home on a quite convoluted trip around beautiful parts of the world. Here's the details if you want to upgrade while you're on board. Now, bear in mind, when we're talking upgrades here, those upgrade prices are based on 54 nights of cruising. You've got good chunks of sea time on this cruise as well, and there'll be so much for you to enjoy while you're on board. Honestly, there's so much wonderful entertainment, massive variety of entertainment as well, and you'll love the dining. I mean, just amazing dining while you're on board. From the full shebang to the wonderful buffets on board, there's specialty dining for you to enjoy as well. It's incredible because this is P&O cruising. You know, lots of people, I know when we did our live shows recently, we spoke to so many people who'd taken their first cruise on P&O Cruises and then have cruised with no one else but since. And I can understand why so many people want to do it. It's incredible. Now, I'm just going to remind you of what we've done already and also show you the price for the whole world cruise, because you might want to do the whole shebang of 99 nights starting on the 3rd of January. So let's just bring up the price details for that, just so that you know. So the full world cruise there is that price on screen there. Give our team a call and speak to them. And if there's anything you want to do, you know, about these smaller sectors as well, because there are other sectors that we can talk to you about as well. So it's all on sale right now. It's a good opportunity to get these prices locked in. And listen, I say this so often, but a world cruise kind of comes to find you. This is not something where I can talk you into a world cruise. It had to be there in the back of your mind. You had to be looking for it, or life circumstances have changed and now is the right time. There is never one of these world cruise shows where I can say to you, right, okay, you know, buy this, because it's not an impulse buy. It's something that finds you. There are the other 2 sectors there on the screen as well. So taking you from Southampton out to Auckland, which remember has the stay in Auckland as well, 45 nights in total. You can put those TV references, by the way, into the website. They'll give you the full rundown of everything you're doing. And then the one at the bottom is the offer that we were just talking about there, which is going from Sydney to Southampton, where we fly you out to Sydney, 3 nights there in a hotel, and then that 54-night cruise back to the UK. It's incredible. Now, you will have questions. You will undoubtedly have questions about what you've seen so far, because a world cruise is a big thing to embark upon. So, what I want you to do is just think about it. You might not make the decision today or tomorrow or even this week. Talk to your other half. Maybe you're thinking about doing a world cruise as a family, or a group of you that go away together and do something epic and exciting. And there's nothing quite like, if you're doing a big adventure like this, is kind of saying, well, normally I'd want 2 years to kind of run up to a world cruise opportunity. And listen, we can talk to you about world cruises that happen in 2026. That's not a problem. Again, just talk to the team. But actually, this comes up so relatively soon that it's for those, don't they say that fortune favours the brave? And sometimes it's quite nice to just grab something that is there and soon and make a quick decision and surprise yourself even and say, let's do it. Let's not sit on the thought, let's do it, because February rolls around really, really quickly. It's not that far away at all if you think about how far through this year we already are. It is frightening. Now, listen, we have a massive array of different shows here on Cruise1st TV. We're not always cruising the world. Sometimes we're just cruising for a couple of nights, and sometimes like this, it can be up to 99 nights. But I just want to remind anyone that's new to us here on the screens just why so many people place their trust in us here at Cruise1st.
With over 20 years of travel experience, when booking with Cruise1st, you're dealing with the cruise specialists. We can tailor-make the perfect holiday for you, adding hotel stays and exciting land tours so you can fully immerse yourself in the destinations you're visiting. As a fully bonded member of APTA and Atoll Protected, you have the peace of mind that your booking is safe with us. We've been on your TV screens for over a decade, and we guarantee the best cruise prices. If you find one of our offers cheaper elsewhere on TV, then we'll match or beat that price. We allow you to spread the cost of your holiday with many of our deals. Just pay a deposit today, and then you have until your due date to pay your balance. Plus, we're one of the highest rated cruise agents on Trustpilot, with over 6,000 independent reviews, so you can be fully confident when booking your next holiday with Cruise1st.
So, have you had a little think about it? Have you looked at each other and thought, quite like that idea. I want to see a bit more of the ship though. Let's go and have another look on board, and then I can tell you about some of the other things that happen on board P&O Cruises Arcadia. So it's one of the smaller in the fleet, around about 2,000 passengers. That's how it can get into some of these boutique ports around the world, but massive facilities on board. The atrium, for instance, is across 3 decks. There's a full reception, guest services and shore excursion team always there. There's so many different seating choices as well in this, the spacious theatre, smaller, more intimate kind of boxes, to comfy theatre and seating and couches as well. If you prefer quieter places to be, there's places like the Spinnaker Bar with a lovely nautical theme and, you know, model ships there. You can listen to the live pianist. The main restaurant is spectacular. You can check out the daily menu before you actually sit down and dine and decide whether that's for you. Crow's Nest is great because it's a nice place to kind of go and disappear of an evening, just enjoy views across the ship. And it's one of the few ships at sea right now that actually have a full wraparound deck with almost uninterrupted views right the way around the ship, which is incredible, which is great for world cruising. Now, as I said, the full 99 nights of the cruise are here. It starts on the 3rd of January for 99 nights, which is just incredible. It'd be great to cruise the world and to see the world as well. But of course, in this show, we've been breaking that down into slightly smaller sectors as well. So let's just remind you of those. So you've got the full world cruise there at the top, the full 99 nights there, starting from 10,339 per person, which is an amazing price. Gratuities are included there as well, remember, and that's Southampton to Southampton round trip. Then we've got the smaller sectors. Well, I say smaller, they're still hefty holidays. So the first one, PO316 there, it takes us from Southampton all the way out to Auckland in New Zealand over 45 incredible nights. Or 41 nights on the cruise. You've got 3 nights in Auckland in New Zealand, and then the flight back there for just under £4,000 each. And then we've got the last one there, which is PO317. Now that's doing it almost the other way round, really. We fly out to Sydney in Australia, have 3 nights in a hotel there, and then take the final 54 nights of the world cruise, which then sails us back to Southampton via some fascinating destinations. If you want to know more about any of those, and there are other sectors as well available in the middle of the world cruise, again, you can talk to our team about those, 0800 953 4700. It's really interesting talking about world cruising because it's something usually of myth that you feel like you could never do. And when you've got the numbers in front of you, it suddenly becomes a lot more realistic, doesn't it? Listen, thank you so much for your company. Don't forget, we're here every single day, and now on Freefood Channel 89, of course, in the afternoons between 1 and 4. I'll see you back here for more soon. Bye-bye.